So, of course, I mean, from that we can obviously understand that salat is, I mean, suffice to say, one of the most, if not the most fundamental pillar upon which the belief of Islam stands. But I mean, Shahzad, there are a number of prerequisites. I mean, that's what this show is about today, looking at the things and conditions that are required in order to perform this fundamental practice within Islam, aren't there?
Sure. So there are 5 essential conditions that a believer must meet before they can observe the obligatory prayer.
Right.
And that is, first is the ablution, which is known as wudhu. Then is the intention, niyat, time. It has to be the prescribed time for that prayer. It has to be the direction, which is known as the qibla, and also satar, which is the bare minimum that has to be covered before one can pray. So these are the 5 essential conditions that need to be met.
I mean, if we take the first one and take them one by one, I mean, we see often that when we're talking about prayer, we're talking about salat, there seems to be a very heavy emphasis on the concept of ablution or cleanliness in general. I mean, Kashyap, why is that?
Well, these 5 conditions which have been mentioned by Shahzad Sahib are all of them are derived from the Holy Quran, and the importance is directly under divine guidance. Now, what is prayer? Why do we pray salat? It is to clean our inner self from spiritual impurities. Right. So in order to make that happen, it is logical that also your physical cleanliness has to be at a certain level. So the mode of wuzu as prescribed by Islam is that you wash your hands, your face, your arms and your feet, and these are the requirements for wuzu. And once in a week, at that time it was that each Jummah at least you should perform the full body ablution, whereas we have more ability today to do it more often. But at any cost, Islam says that you should put special emphasis on your physical cleanliness as well, as it has a deep relation to your spiritual cleanliness.
Right, right. And I mean, also we understand the importance of water as well, as it's mentioned in many different forms as well, especially when we're talking about cleanliness. Water is often, hand in hand with that. But I mean, Shahzad, if people are living all around the world, and of course Islam is a universal religion, there are many people that at certain times do not have water available to them. So does that mean that they can't pray?
So one of the beauties of the Islamic teachings is that the Quranic injunctions are based on the principle of ad-dinu yusrun. That these principles are that they be based on ease.
Right.
So even though these, as Kashyap Sahib has mentioned as well, that these 5 essential conditions, we derive them from the Holy Quran. But in order to make the congregational prayer and the obligatory prayer accessible to all, in all circumstances, there are certain relaxations as well.
Right.
So as you have quite rightly mentioned, that in certain parts of the world, people don't have access to clean water. So, but even then, the importance of salat is signified here by the Holy Prophet ﷺ saying that even if you don't have water, even then one must observe the prayer. And for that, the substitute for that is masa. Right. Which is that one will tap his hands on some dust and first wipe it across his face and then his hands.
And there is another term used for that in the Holy Quran itself, فَتَيَمَّمُوا سَيِّدًا طَيِّبًا, that you should do tayammum, you should with your hand symbolically touch the earth or any spot and rub your face and your hands in symbolical manner, that is.
Okay.
And it's also sort of like a plea as well, though it's symbolic as well. But as Kashyap mentioned, that the salat has many benefits, and ablution has many benefits as well. That it sort of energizes your senses, it makes you alert. But also, namaz or salat is a very, though it's not physically very strenuous, but it is an emotional engagement.
Of course.
The Holy Prophet ﷺ's prayer was such that it says, the companions have said that it was as if water was boiling in a pot. I mean, that was how much fervency and humility he had in his prayers. So obviously, to be engaged in that sort of prayer, one needs to make the necessary preparations.
Sure, of course.
So water is essential, but if it's not there, you still symbolically do it, so that the attention that can be maintained.
I mean,